Good afternoon, I'm 14 First Alert meteorologist Arden Gregory, and today is a First Alert weather day. We added this alert day at the end of last week, so hopefully this isn't catching you off guard. We've been talking for several days now about the two threats we have going on today. One is scattered possible severe storms that may pose a damaging wind threat, along with an isolated risk of hail, flooding, and even a tornado. But the storms are going to be kind of scattered. Not everyone's necessarily going to see storms or certainly any severe weather today. That'll be a pretty isolated part of the tri-state. What's impacting everyone right now is the other part of this alert day, and that is the heat. It is dangerously hot out there, which is why we are under an extreme heat warning until 7 o'clock this evening. Two things are going to happen around that time. One, it typically starts to cool down around that time of day, right? We start to approach sunset, get out of the hottest part of the day. Another thing that's going to happen this evening is a cold front passes through the tri-state. So while it is dangerously hot this afternoon, it will start to cool off rather quickly as we get into the evening hours, and then that heat alert will come to an end. We're not just under an extreme heat warning, we're also under a severe thunderstorm watch. That goes until 9 o'clock this evening for the entire tri-state. And that severe thunderstorm watch stretches from about Paducah through Bowling Green and the tri-state, and then off to the east-northeast through Louisville and central Kentucky, and then on up into Ohio and West Virginia as well. Off to our northeast is where most of the severe weather is focused today, but notice this is all part of kind of a broken line of thunderstorms forming along a cold front. So while most of the action is east of the tri-state, as we expect it to be, there are some isolated storms developing here at home, and then even spottier ones off to our west into southern Missouri and areas like that, all along the same cold front that's currently pushing through the tri-state. So here at home, we do still have one severe thunderstorm warning still in place for Perry County, as you could have some nickel-sized hail and 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts there, but that storm is moving out of the tri-state. Then we've got some more spotty rain stretching through Hancock, Spencer, Davis, Henderson, Webster, and Hopkins counties right now. Those are not severe at this time, but some of them are producing lightning. Most of the lightning is in Du Bois, Spencer, and Perry counties, where you've got that severe thunderstorm. But again, that's on its way out. We've got a little bit of lightning with this storm in Henderson County as well. We'll have to wait and see how these play out, as we do expect more of these spotty storms to develop through this afternoon, and then mainly across western Kentucky this evening. That cold front is already starting to pass through places like Evansville, which is why we're seeing those thunderstorms kind of from about Spencer and Davis County over into Henderson County. That's about where the front is. So it's already passing through. So Evansville, for example, may have dodged the storms this time around. But as that cold front continues to push south, there's still a chance for some scattered severe weather, especially across the southeastern portion of the tri-state this afternoon and evening. But by about 8, maybe 9 o'clock at the latest, those storms should be out of the tri-state, and it will then be mostly clear for the rest of the night. So it's really just over the next few hours here, just the rest of this afternoon and into this evening, we have this risk for some isolated to scattered severe storms, mainly across the southeastern portion of the tri-state. But continue to be on alert for that potential for severe weather through the next few hours. It'll then be mostly clear overnight and into Wednesday morning. Wednesday, I do think, will be partly cloudy. Some of the models are hinting at maybe a stray shower on Wednesday, but will most likely stay dry. Also notice the wind arrows here dramatically changing direction. We have much cooler air flowing into the tri-state on Wednesday. As for that severe weather threat, most of us are sitting at a level 2 risk, which means widespread severe weather is not expected. We're not even going to get widespread rain today, but within the scattered thunderstorms that develop, a few strong to severe storms are certainly possible. But the greater threat for severe weather, as we've already seen this afternoon, stretches from about Perry and Hancock counties off to the east through Louisville and central Kentucky, and then on up into Ohio, West Virginia, and then on out to the mid-Atlantic coast there. So really most of the action already this afternoon is east-northeast of the tri-state, and that's where we expect the bulk of the severe weather to be for the rest of the day today. But an isolated to scattered severe thunderstorm still certainly possible here at home. Looking at the individual threats, you'll notice we're into a level 3, even right on the edge of a level 4 risk for specifically damaging winds. That is by far the most likely threat with any storms that we get this afternoon. Next up would be hail. We're sitting at a level 1 to level 2 risk there. Then we've got this level 1 risk for flooding and tornadoes as well. So damaging winds are the most likely concern with any storms that develop today. If we get severe thunderstorm warnings, it'll most likely be for strong winds. These storms may also be capable of producing hail, though. And then on the lower end of the threats would be flooding and tornadoes, but some heavy rain and flooding and even a brief spin-up tornado still can't be totally ruled out. So most likely if you get a thunderstorm that has severe weather with it, it would be damaging winds, but hail, flooding, and even a tornado can't be ruled out over the next few hours. Now let's talk about the good that this cold front's going to do. On the downside, it does bring us this chance of storms, but as that cold front pushes through, it's going to break this heat wave. Our temperatures are currently sitting in the low 90s in most locations, 81 in Henderson because it's raining there right now. Similar story in Huntingburg. They just had a thunderstorm pass through there, so it's 75 right now, but it's 94 in Evansville, 92 in Owensboro, and man, is it muggy. When you factor in the humidity, it feels like most of us are in the triple digits. Again, the exceptions being the little spots where we're getting those thunderstorms. That is cooling you off some, but in Evansville, Mount Vernon, Sturgis, heat index of 110 degrees right now. Owensboro feeling like 119. That is very dangerous heat and humidity. The humidity plays a big role here. Look at these dew points. We're seeing dew points in the upper 70s to even low to mid 80s. Dew points in the 80s is crazy humidity. That is way maxed out up here at just stifling. I mean, you can feel it, can barely breathe. It is like you are wearing the air kind of humidity, just absolutely stifling, oppressive humidity. And so that paired with temperatures already in the 90s, you get that very dangerous heat, which is why we're under that extreme heat warning through the rest of the day today. So please keep that in mind. The Vanderburgh County Fair is going on today. It's dangerously hot out there. I still wouldn't rule out an isolated shower or storm through the rest of this afternoon and evening. Odds are, I think the Vanderburgh County Fair will probably stay dry today. I'm not going to guarantee it, but I think odds are Vanderburgh County Fair will be dry today, but it's still going to be miserably, dangerously hot there through the next 2 or 3 hours at least. That extreme heat warning doesn't expire until 7 p.m. After that, first of all, we start to approach sunset, so naturally it's going to start to cool off some, but also notice our wind direction changes this evening. Cooler air starts to flow in from the northwest. By the end of the night tonight, it's going to be mostly clear with temperatures falling into the upper 60s to around 70. Now, here comes the exciting part. Are you folks ready? Tomorrow, it's going to be a little breezy, but that wind is going to be coming from the north, and that means it is going to feel incredible out there. Tomorrow is going to be partly cloudy and very pleasant. Our temperatures may only make it to about 80 tomorrow. We're going to spend most of the day Wednesday hanging out in the 70s in late July. We never get that lucky in late July, right? So on the one hand, this cold front does bring us this chance for scattered strong to severe storms. Please be very aware of that through the next few hours. But once we get through that, this cold front is going to be a blessing in disguise because we are going to be running about 10 degrees cooler than average with highs in the upper 70s to low 80s then through Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and lows dipping down into the 60s. Wednesday night into Thursday morning, some of us might even get into the 50s. It is going to be so refreshing. It's going to feel incredible out there whole second half of this week. Then we start to heat up again as we go over the weekend, and by Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, it's going to feel like late July again for sure. As for the humidity trend, it's been really muggy here recently, right? This whole week we've been caught in this hot, humid weather, highs in the 90s, heat index in the low triple digits, basically all week long. Today might be the worst so far. It is miserably hot, miserably muggy. We're in that extreme heat warning. Today is the worst of this heat wave we've been in for a week now. But once that cold front passes through tonight, look at this humidity trend. The dew points just plummet. And not only are the temperatures going to be cooler, but the dew points, the humidity is going to reach a point that's really pretty pleasant and comfortable here by Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Then along with the heat, the humidity starts to trend back up as we go through the weekend and into early next week. So, I forgot to take that flashing red day off of there. Let me just fix that right now. Tomorrow is not an alert day. That's left over from when today was an alert day. I took the alert off the top, just forgot to remove the red flashing box. So there's your 7-day forecast. Again, we're still on alert today. Today is still a first alert weather day. Until we get through this evening, we're under an extreme heat warning until 7 p.m. We're in a severe thunderstorm watch until 9 p.m. So through the next few hours, it's still dangerously hot and there's still that risk of some scattered severe storms. After about 8, 9 o'clock tonight, we're in the clear on both. The storms will be over, the heat will be over, and then we've got gorgeous weather in store through the end of this week. Now, as our wind direction starts to shift, warmer, more humid air starts to flow in. We could maybe see an isolated shower or storm. We don't have any widespread rain in the forecast then through the next 7 days. It is going to get steamier though as we get into early next week. Let's check in on the comments here. Good afternoon, Jeanette, Cheyenne, Maddie. Yes, Maddie says it's so hot outside it's hard to breathe. That is that heat paired with the humidity. The humidity is probably what's making you more miserable than the heat. Yeah, it is soupy out there today. Jake asked, when will we be able to breathe again? Tomorrow. Actually, tonight. You just got to get through a few more hours of this, Jake. Good afternoon, Jeff. Cheyenne, the storms should push south of the tri-state and be completely over by about 8, 9 o'clock. It depends on your exact location. For much of Indiana and Illinois, the storm chances are going to be over sooner, probably by about 5 p.m. And then for those of you in western Kentucky, by about 8 o'clock tonight, I think the storms will be over. And Thomas says there was just a severe thunderstorm warning for Henderson. Yes, I see that now. So let's pop back up here to our radar and just take a quick look at that here while we've got it pulled up. I know Jeff Lyons is on the other side of the building here, so he's handling the on-air portion of things today. But for those of you who are still here with us this afternoon, let's take a look at this severe thunderstorm warning. It is for Henderson County. We're going to zoom in a little tighter here and take a look at things. Sorry, this is lagging just a little bit. All right, let's get some information here. So this is a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag on it. It is for southern Henderson County, but it's headed to the southeast. So it includes northeast Webster County and then into northern McLean County here. McLean County is kind of oddly shaped. So it's that part that kind of loops up and around over top of Webster County. That's the part of McLean County that's also under this warning. This storm may be capable of producing some hail. Doesn't look like real large hail though, small hail along with 60-mile-an-hour winds. But then it also has this tornado possible tag on it. So we're going to take a closer look at that. This warning, by the way, goes until 3:30 p.m. So let's take a closer look here at velocity, and let's see, I might have to turn the warning off to get it to do what I want. Velocity, storm relative velocity. And then we're going to zoom in a little tighter here. I'm not seeing any real strong rotation from this, but you can see some reds and greens kind of side by side. Typically you would look for a very bright red next to a very bright green, and that would indicate a very clear rotation. Red is, as it says up here along the legend, red means those winds are moving away from the radar. Green means those winds are coming toward the radar. So if you have winds going away from the radar here and coming toward the radar here in the middle, they would be spinning, right? And so that means you've got winds in opposite directions in a small area. So we are looking very closely for kind of those bright reds and bright greens side by side. That would be indicating that potential for a rotation and a tornado. I'm not seeing a real clear signature on this, but it is something to certainly be monitoring. The National Weather Service has flagged this as a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible. Let me pull up the text on this to be able to just read it to you here and see what they had to say. I should be able to do that on my computer here. There we go. So it says a severe thunderstorm warning was located over Corydon. So that's just southwest of Henderson, moving southeast at about 30 miles an hour. It says that this may be able to produce 60-mile-an-hour winds, and also the possibility, it says remain on alert for a possible tornado. Tornadoes may develop rather quickly within these thunderstorms. This is not a tornado warning. There's no clear indication of a tornado at this time. But they've just flagged this as a storm that may have that potential of producing a tornado, so it's something to monitor closely. But either way, we do have a thunderstorm producing some very strong winds here in southern Henderson County, and that storm is moving into northeastern Webster and northern McLean counties as well. That's kind of the only severe thunderstorm we have in this broken line of storms right now. We have another storm that the warning should be about to fall off of there in Perry County. That's moving out of the tri-state, but for those of you in Perry County, still getting some strong winds and potential severe weather there. We've got another bit of rain in Davis County there, but it's not producing any lightning or severe weather at this time. We'll continue to monitor it. The reason I was saying earlier that places like Evansville might be done with the severe weather is these storms, if I show you here, let's back up to this loop. These storms are forming along a line along this cold front and pushing to the southeast. So we had these storms up in Gibson, Pike, and Du Bois County earlier today, and then as they pushed off to the southeast, that's what's moving through Perry County and then off into the Louisville area now. Then on the back end, we've seen more storms developing this afternoon along that same cold front. So I think much of southern Illinois and then places like Posey and Vanderburgh County kind of missed out where the cold front may already be passing through there, but the storms aren't developing until they get to your south. So that's something to keep in mind there, is it's very possible that places like Evansville and Mount Vernon and most of Illinois may end up missing out on the severe weather this time around as that line of storms, and I'll just kind of pause this so that it doesn't keep looping on us. Let's pause it. Okay, so this line of storms, obviously the worst of it is out here from about Louisville to our northeast. That's where we were expecting the worst of the severe weather today. But that broken line of storms extends all the way back into Missouri as this cold front is pushing south. So once that line moves through, I think you're pretty much done with the storms. So for much of southwest Indiana and southern Illinois, those storms are already into western Kentucky. So the cold front may have already passed you over, and many of us may have dodged it this time around, but we do still have that storm in Perry County. We've got some storms we're watching for potential development in Hancock, Davis, and Ohio counties, and then we've got that severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag on it there in Henderson County, again southern Henderson County, moving into Webster and McLean counties there. And as this broken line of storms continues to push to the south here over the next 2 or 3 hours, it really seems like by this evening, probably I think by 8 o'clock, the severe thunderstorm watch goes until 9. I don't think we'll still have storms at 9. I think by 8, maybe even 7, these storms are going to push off to our south and we'll be done with the severe weather. So the problem here is everywhere it's storming, you've got that potential for severe weather. That's at least cooling you down though. Everywhere it's not storming, it's still dangerously hot. So that's why everybody's still on alert up through about 7 p.m. 7 p.m. is when everything seems to kind of go away. At 7 o'clock, the extreme heat warning expires. We'll start to finally cool things off a little bit, come down out of that realm of dangerous heat. And then around 7 o'clock is also when these thunderstorms will start to push off to our southeast. So I really think we just got to get through the next 3 or 4 hours here. And then after that, we're in the clear and we'll have really beautiful weather to look forward to then tomorrow. Let's check in on the comments here. Do I think Evansville will see storms? Do I think Evansville will see any storms? Will Will there be any storms behind these that could hit Evansville? I really don't think so. I kind of think we're going to have this broken line along that cold front, and once these push through, I don't really see anything that would motivate thunderstorms behind this. What's forcing these thunderstorms is you have this very hot, very humid air, and then a cold front coming in, which is cooler, drier air, and it's clashing with that hot, humid air, and it's forcing, as the cold air pushes in, it forces the hot air up. And as that hot air rises, you get these thunderstorms developing. So that cold front is really what's driving this. And I really think once that moves through, I don't know that we would see much of anything else behind this line that would kind of force things. I think it's just kind of this one line, and once that moves through, I would say you're probably in the clear. Tori's asking about Union County. Union County still kind of on the tail end here, where you could maybe see an isolated storm developing, but it's already into Webster County, so you might be in the clear in Union County as well, although I wouldn't let your guard down just yet. I still wouldn't rule out, especially in southern Union County, that a storm could pop up. But really, we are starting to see some calmer weather take over there. Let's check in on the winds real quick, just out of curiosity. So you can kind of notice these winds coming in from the west-southwest, the yellow arrows, and then up here you've got those blue arrows coming in where the cooler air is coming in from the north. That's kind of where the cold front would be. So as that cooler air from the north pushes in and clashes with the hot, humid air already in place, that's where you're going to see those thunderstorms developing, setting up kind of right along the Ohio River in many places right now. So you've got these storms. Let's go back to the radar now. You've got these storms over in Perry County, and then kind of stretching down into Hancock, Davis County, and then Henderson, McLean, and Webster County, and then it continues southeast from there. See some more spotty rain here near Vienna, Illinois, down toward Paducah, and then on back toward Cape Girardeau here. So you can, if you kind of play connect the dots here, you can kind of connect this cold front up and along that line there. So I think everyone behind that line, your thunderstorm threat has probably already passed, even if you didn't get any thunderstorms today. Now, the cool down will lag behind this a little bit. It's going to take a minute for that cool air to really kick in. So it's still going to be hot through this afternoon. Then that cold air will kind of start to filter in through the night tonight. And then tomorrow is when we'll really get to take advantage of that more comfortable weather. All right. Brian is asking about Tell City. Well, you're kind of in the area where you may or may not get a thunderstorm. There's a thunderstorm in Davis and Hancock County right now, but you're just to the kind of the northeast of it. You may kind of split the difference. We've had storms to the northeast of Tell City and to the southwest of Tell City, so you may kind of split it there, where Tell City specifically doesn't get hit, even though there are storms around you. Just kind of getting lucky on that one. And then someone asking about Muhlenberg County. If these storms continue to the southeast, they will probably hit Muhlenberg County. How strong they'll be when they get there, I really couldn't say for sure. We'll have to wait and see. If they continue to grow and develop, you could get severe thunderstorms in Muhlenberg County this evening. If they start to weaken and break down, you could just get some rain. But I would definitely stay on alert in Muhlenberg County, as we already have some thunderstorms developing to your northwest, and those are headed your way. So the severe thunderstorm warning that we have right now in Henderson, Webster, and McLean County, those storms will likely move into places like Muhlenberg and Ohio County here over the next couple of hours. So I would still be very on alert for severe weather in Muhlenberg County until we get through this evening. All right, I'm not seeing any other questions, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Chief Meteorologist Jeff Lyons is hard at work in the other room. He's been bringing some updates over the air on TV. He and I will be here through the afternoon, continuing to bring you updates, but he'll have your forecast on 14 News tonight at 4, 5, 6, and 10, and he'll do another streaming show here tonight at 9. And both of us will be here to bring you updates about the severe weather threats as needed as we go through the rest of the afternoon. I did just see one more question about, I'm still getting some specific locations. Hopkins County, again, these storms that are in Webster County are moving toward Hopkins County. Whether or not they'll become severe as they push through, we'll just have to wait and see how they develop. So until these storms move through, Hopkins County definitely still needs to be on alert. Edwards County, I think you're in the clear. This line of storms has already passed you and didn't really develop until they got south of you. So again, I hope that answers everyone's questions. And with that, I'm going to log off of here, and Jeff and I will have more updates for you as needed on 14 News. And he'll obviously be on 14 News at 4, 5, and 6 this evening, tracking these storms live for you during our shows. So hope you'll keep it tuned to 14 News. Everybody stay cool, stay safe, and look forward to much better weather tomorrow.